Welcome back into another video, guys. That was a really energetic intro for some reason, but today I'm going to be ranking all NFL teams based on how interested I am in them playing. That doesn't mean whether they're going to be good or bad. Some good teams I really don't care about because they're just boring. So let's get into it. Starting off with, I guess this list kind of wants me to go in one way, but I'm going to rank my Giants. If I can learn how to drag things, I'm going to put. Depends on our QB play. I can obviously put a must-watch because I'm probably going to watch all Giants games. But if Daniel Jones plays well, I could see myself really want to watch them. If not, I could see myself wanting to claw my eyes out. Next, the Bengals. I really don't care. They're going to make the playoffs potentially, and Joe Burrow's going to get hurt. It's just the storylines aren't really interesting to me per se. Jamar Chase, is he going to get paid or not? Yeah, that doesn't mean they're going to be a bad team. I'm just not interested. The Patriots, same thing. If Mac Jones comes in, I'll probably watch them. But, I mean, I think there's going to be a train wreck. And sometimes train wrecks are fun to watch, but I don't see myself being all that interested. Next, the Saints. Man, a lot of these teams, man. Am I a football fan? I really don't care about the Saints. We all know what's going to happen with Derek Carr. The offensive line's going to struggle. They're going to have some good games, offensive weapons. The defense is going to be all right, but probably not the standard. And, yeah, I have a couple of Saints fans, friends. Sorry, I'm not watching any of your games. Next, the Steelers. This one is where it starts to get interesting. I'm going to put them, depends on the quarterback play. But I'm going to say interesting because we know that they're going to be 9-8 this year, but how do they get there? Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, I think that's an interesting storyline. Also, some good players up and down the roster. Revamp their offensive line. I think they could be pretty interesting this year, and it's something a little bit different, a little bit new. Next, the 49ers. Yeah, they're still interesting to watch. It's going to be fun to see Brock Purdy, what he can do. Is he going to continue his madness going on with, I mean, he's playing great. But so did guys like Colin Kaepernick in the beginning of their careers, but this looks like it's more sustainable. And overall, I'm not too interested. I can't put them in the upper tier because, okay, they make it to the NFC Championship every single year. They choke. But it's going to be cool to see if they could get to higher heights. By higher heights, I mean win the Super Bowl. Next, the Cardinals. I would say only if I'm betting. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a really good storyline there. It's just the defense is really good enough for me. I mean, if they do win a couple of games, it could be quite fun. And overall, I'm just not too interested in the Cardinals this year because I think their ceiling is not that high. It shouldn't be fun. The Falcons, I think, should I put them in must-watch? Because I may take them further down than this. But, I mean, Michael Penix Jr., Kirk Cousins. What happens if Kirk Cousins has a bad game? The whole drama with – they just went from – I don't care to all the way up there just on one pick. They could have picked a defensive guy. They could have went even Roma Dunze, but they decided to make it all interesting. It's going to be cool to see like where they are in the standings at the end of the year. Do they tank? How good is Kirk Cousins? I think they're... I'm going to keep them must-watch for now. The Ravens, I'm going to put them... I can't put them in depends on QB play because Lamar Jackson's going to be good. I'll put them in interesting. No, I'll put them in only if I'm betting. Two bird teams in the only if I'm betting category. Mainly because I'm just sick and tired of the Ravens not winning to the playoffs. Talk to me during the playoffs. In fact, I could almost rename it here to talk to me in the playoffs. I mean, Lamar Jackson seems to just suck. They have a new defensive coordinator now. It seems their talented thing has gotten a little bit down from last year, but still a wide talent across the roster, so that should be fun. Next, the Bills. They're my Super Bowl pick this year, but if only if I'm betting. I'm waiting to the playoffs for them. We can, in my season previews, I'm going to get more into the actual roster themselves. It's just that Josh Allen, is he going to win MVP? That's the only interesting storyline to me. And to see if we learn about any more of Sean McDermott's off-the-wall comments. The Panthers, they are at least, I guess, somewhat interesting to me. I think it depends on the quarterback play. Now, some people have the Panthers like they're the 25th ranked team. No, they're the worst team in the league. Sometimes that changes, okay? It's not always the written rule, but right now, you got to say that they were the worst team in the league. Bryce Young, you gave him one weapon, and all of a sudden you think this team is going to be good, and that one weapon's a rookie, Xavier Legette. I mean, what do you want from me? Like, their secondary is bad. Every single position is bad. But if Bryce Young does get hot, it can be kind of fun to watch, kind of a good news story towards the end of the year. The Bears, I think they're going to be must-watch because of Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, nothing really more to be said. Does this team collapse, though, because of Matt Eberflus not being exactly the greatest offensive mind? He's a defensive mind, and Shane Waldron, I believe, is their offensive coordinator. It's going to be fun to see in the beginning of his career. I'm going to put the Browns in. I don't really care. Actually, depends on the quarterback play. I have to move them up because does Deshaun Watson just suck? And Jameis Winston, if he gets in, that could be pretty fun. But does this team revert on itself? Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year. That was crazy. So I didn't think he should have won last year, but I mean he's the coach there, and overall they've been playing well with him. So so that's my opinion on the Browns. The Cowboys, I'm a Giants fan. Only if I'm betting or we're playing against them. That's kind of the name of this category. There's a lot of drama with Dak and the whole deal. I'm just kind of sick of it because it feels like it's the same thing every year. So same old storylines. They're going to make it to the playoffs, maybe win a game, lose. So again, this is kind of the stale storyline group. The Broncos, I would say interesting because Bo Nix. Now, I've been a Bo Nix semi-hater. I watched one of his first games live when he was the quarterback for the Auburn Tigers, and he sucked that game. He was a freshman in college. So I just think the whole Bo Nix, Sean Payton thing is going to be interesting because he is going to die in that hill. But the overall roster, not that great. As far as the Lions, a little bit tired of them. So I would say only if I'm betting. They made it to the NFC Championship, should have won it last year, which is a crazy thought to say. But yeah, that's where I have them. Jared Goff signed a contract. There's still some swagger and class with this team, but overall I'm not too interested in them. See, we filled out the board a little bit. The Tennessee Titans, I'm going to put them in depends on quarterback play. That's kind of easy, just default. But they kind of bumped up their roster low-key with Ridley. I think DeAndre Hopkins is getting a little older, but their offensive line with J.C. Latham. Now, is he going to be right or left tackle? I forget what they're going to do with him. But they got some running back talent now, and I think that they could be sneaky like a 6-win team this year, or 7-win team. So that could be interesting. And Will Levis, he can prop them up. Green Bay, even though it's a similar storyline next year, I do think they are interesting to see if Jordan Love can do it again. They haven't had the best drafts over the past couple of years, like elite talent, but they've done like a Steelers job of just getting good talent, keep on getting good talent. I like the storyline with see if Jordan Love can become the next Aaron Rodgers. May become stale over the next few years, but I think that is kind of fun to see if their defense could get back into shape. I mean, what it was like 15 years ago with the new defensive coordinator. And then the Texans, I am almost all in on them. I'm going to say interesting because last year, is it a fluke? Again, with the Green Bay, they're in the same boat. CJ Stroud showed that he can be a sustainable player. Overall, like their flashiness is not high. Stephon Diggs, I think that was a little bit too rich of a signing for me. But their offensive line, we'll see what happens with their first-round pick from the other year. The guy from Texas A&M, what was his name? I forget, man. I kind of liked him too, but he struggled. He's been struggling over the first couple of years with injuries and stuff like that. I would say the Colts are must-watch because, like, Richardson is just, again, I went to Florida, so he's just a ball of weirdness, and every single game, no matter what, it's one of those teams like Seattle where it's just like, every game, can you have like a boring game? That's going to be what it is. Hopefully he doesn't get injured, so, and I just realized I can almost spell the F word if I just, okay, so we won't do that, just because the YouTube algorithm catches up on me, and put the Kansas City there too. Anyway, Kansas City, I really don't care. It's the same story. They're becoming a little bit like the Patriots to me, and the whole Taylor Swift stuff. I know it's kind of cliche to say because everyone's saying it. Rasheed Rice, they're all getting arrested. A little bit of interest. It's not like zero interest, but it's like a 5 out of 100 for me. Like last year, they kept on winning. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, the Jaguars, at least somewhat interesting, but only if I'm betting. It's just they don't have the spice, you know. My family lives in Jacksonville now, so it's like, is it a hate watch thing? Do I want them to win? I don't really know what to do with them. But overall, their drafts over the past couple of years haven't been good, and they're kind of paying for it because they have kind of mid-talent. Next, the Rams. This is, okay, so Matt Stafford had a resurgent year last year. I'll put them in I don't care right now, but I'm at least somewhat interested in them. Aaron Donald retires. I would say only if I'm betting. I still think they're going to be a 9-10 win team because they did replenish a lot of their talent. I just don't know what their ceiling is, but it'd be cool to see if they get higher heights. You know, Sean McVay, we kind of know the standard. They lost their defensive coordinator. Their defense may take a step back, but overall, I like their players. I like Byron Young. I liked him coming out. Puka Nacua, that sort of thing. I just think they're going to be a lot of interesting games this year. The Chargers, I'm definitely interested in them with Jim Harbaugh. Now, I can potentially lower them a little bit because we kind of know that Jim Harbaugh is going to be a huge success or whatever it is, but I'm always going to put them in the interesting category. because they don't have a lot of wide receiver talent. That may make them less interesting throughout the year, but I'm at least interested if they can beat the Kansas City Chiefs and dethrone them, because they won the last, I think, 7 division titles. The Miami Dolphins, I made a skit the other day that people didn't like. Remember to my YouTube Shorts, I do a lot of fun skits on there, so be sure to tune in, go to my channel, like, subscribe, all that stuff. But anyway, depends on the QB play. We know Tua is going to be at least somewhat good. I think it could be a little bit train wreck. They lost their defensive coordinator last year, Jalen Phillips. I really don't know where to put them. They can win the division this year, but it's like a 3-team race. If Tua, I'm gonna put depends on QB play, because if Tua can he take that next step? I don't know. I think we kind of know what to expect from him, and if it's like the same thing, same offense from last year, I'm not going to be all too interested. And the Vikings, I could put them in interesting, but J.J. McCarthy, Sam Darnold, and the whole deal. I don't know why I'm just not feeling the Vikings. Maybe it's because there's still a little Kirk Cousins residue on there, but at least it's something a little bit different for them. So only if I'm betting I'll be interested in them. Jets, depending on the quarterback play, because everyone's like they're going to be a playoff team. Like, prove it to me. Prove it to me when I see it, or whatever. I don't know. But Aaron Rodgers, it depends. If he's good, I'm going to watch. If not, I'm a Giants fan. I'll hate watch or whatever it is. But at least I want them to be good. We should do it. Like, as far as tier ranking of wanting them to be good and interesting, they would be a little bit higher than this. The Raiders, Gardner Minshew, Antonio Pierce. I'm just curious to see where this lands with everything. And I just realized, actually, no, I was about to say these are all AFC teams. That's not close to being right. But, yeah, that's kind of the main reason. What's his name? O'Connell. Is he the next guy? How's his defense with Max Crosby? Are they going to fall off a cliff? Or, like, I think they're just going to have fun games. Next, Seattle, they're going to have fun games too. I'm really interested to see if Mike McDonald could do something there. But I'm going to put them, depends on QB play, because I think we kind of know what Geno Smith is. But if he can take, like, a next step randomly for some reason, I think they can be really, really good this year. So, and their defensive line ramped up to secondary. I think they could be a really good team this year and potentially challenge the 49ers, like I said last year, but end up not being the case. The Bucs, I'm just not interested. Baker, Kyle Trask, the backup quarterback. I just feel like their roster is like a hodgepodge of stuff with Mike Evans and everybody. But yeah, I'm not all too interested. But last year, the end of it was pretty fun with them. The Eagles, I really don't care about the Eagles. I have two NFC East teams. Their new coaching, Jalen Hurts. I just don't care. I think they're gonna win the division. I guess I'm a little bit interested to see how their draft picks do. I just hate them, so I'll put them on the bottom of things. And Washington, I don't hate Washington because the Giants beat them. I'm at least somewhat interested. Jaden Daniels, what's his name? This video should be renamed to me forgetting people's names. People want to say Lincoln Riley, but Cliff Kingsbury with Jaden Daniels. Roster's mid, but I mean that could be fun if Jaden Daniels running around, rookie quarterback. I could say that same thing for Minnesota, but I mean, I'm more interested in Washington. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. And